are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you very much. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Who else do we have here? Mr. Harris, how are you?
Good evening. Doing well. How about you?
Oh, I like that deep voice. That's good. You got yeah, excellent. Doing good. And Juan, how are you doing this evening?
Amazing.
Amazing. Look at all right. Welcome, Brentwood. Welcome to the meeting, the working session of the council on the 4th of November. Here we are in 2025. And welcome, everybody. Clerk, would you be so good as to call the roll?
Councilmember Glenn Harris Jr.,
Present.
Councilmember Juan Araumiao,
Present.
Councilmember Julia Elrod,
Present.
Vice Mayor Jerry Burgess,
Present, ready to serve.
Mayor Lucia Domina Lopez,
Excused. She'll be here later.
all right, Town Administrator Sully Dorsey Washington,
Present.
Police Chief Anthony Ayers,
Present.
Interim Town Treasurer Sully Dorsey Washington,
Present.
Town Clerk Larry Moran present, and lastly, our Town Attorney Jason Deloach.
He's in court until at least 6:30, so he may or may not be able to join us tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Since it's the working session, we have a slightly different set of rules, but are there any changes to the agenda that anyone would like to propose?
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
we would like to add the reading of a proclamation for the Municipal Government Works Month.
All right. I'm going to add that right as the first thing on the legislation, okay?
Okay.
Once I find a pen. All right. Any other changes, folks? Great. So be it. I will have one change. And that's the under legislation, ordinance 25-18, the tree ordinance, that's going to be tabled till the next meeting due to the attorney having to make a few technical changes.
Okay.
All right. With that, we can move forward with upcoming events. The Citizens Advisory Meeting, which is scheduled for this Thursday at the Community Center. We have Veterans Day event, November 11th. That's in Bartlett Park, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Town Hall closure on Tuesday, November the 11th. Senior Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, Thursday, November 13th. Community Center, 5 p.m. Be there. Our next town council meeting, our legislative meeting, will be November 18th. Town hall closure, again, on November 27th, Friday, and November 28th. Town hall reopens again Monday, December 1st, and that, of course, will be for the Thanksgiving event. Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Not via email, no.
Are there any in the crowd who would like to make one? I see that Stephanie De Lorenzo would like to make a comment. Clerk, if you could help with that.
Oh, fancy. Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie DiLorenzo. I'm the founder of the Route 1 Corridor Indivisible chapter. And we put on the No King's Day protest. First of all, thanks to everybody who came out for that a couple weeks ago. Much appreciated. I know the mayor came out for it. I actually don't live in Brentwood. I live up in Hyattsville, but we kind of cover the entire Route 1 corridor. So I'm here kind of on behalf of that. But I'm actually, yes, so nice to meet everybody. I'm actually coming on here for a question. So a new initiative we're working on with Route 1 Corridor Indivisible is to help feed people who are going through a really rough time. We're partnering with a couple of partner organizations, one being the PG County Immigrants' Rights Collective, as well as Food Justice DMV. And I'm wondering if maybe this is an offline question, but if there is any space available where people in the community can bring food donations, and then PGIRC and Indivisible could maybe do some sort of sorting of those groceries and those donations, because then they actually deliver food directly to families. And PGIRC is working specifically with families who have been abducted by ICE. So especially the breadwinners are generally the ones abducted. And then the families are kind of left to fend for themselves. A lot of times they don't even have a car. So PGIRC is doing a really great service, and they're doing the bulk of this legwork to get donations to then deliver it to these families. And so we're just trying to partner with them to see, is there a good space somewhere along Route 1 corridor that we could kind of ramp up this effort?
Right. Thank you, Ms. DiLorenzo. First of all, just to, since you're new to our meetings, just a clarification on how they typically run, and that's during the public comments, we listen, we take notes. We usually don't have a back and forth discussion about the comment. If that seemed like I'm cutting you off short, I want to explain the background. That being said, there are a couple of people here who I think you should touch base with offline, okay? One will be the mayor, who's working on food pantry relief fund issues for the town. The second will be Miss Dorsey Washington. She's our town administrator. She's been helping coordinate food drives and things like that. Please contact her. And I believe Councilmember Mion is also involved with acquisition of food for different relief funds. So you might want to actually try to connect with all three of those folks specifically. Okay? All right. Great. Thank you so much. And if you have any further questions, we'll be happy to deal with them.
I'm sorry, can you just run through the names? So you said the mayor, I
Yes.
see Miss Dorsey Washington on here. Hello.
Right, and I'm going
third
to
one?
actually ask the town clerk to go ahead and drop their emails in
Okay.
there if somebody hasn't already. But yes, Miss Dorsey Washington, who's our town administrator. Councilmember Arango Mion, who's also a city council person here in Brentwood. And then, of course, Mayor Treminio Lopez. Okay, I think those are the three people that are probably the most active at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Yep, thank you for putting all those emails in the chat. I will take them down. Thank you for your time.
Okay, great. Thank you, and thank you for all your work. Clerk, can we activate Mr. Scretany for his comment, please?
He should be ready to go.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. And unlike Stephanie, who brings something new to the meeting, I'm here to talk about the issue I'm always here to talk about. I am just looking to listen in. I'd like, updates on the ordinance that we passed, 2025-11, on the implementation of gross vehicle weight limitations, and then Resolution 2025-13 on traffic calming and the installation of asphalt speed humps on Volta Avenue. That's all I'm here for. I may not make it through the whole meeting, but I look forward to the updates as they come. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Scretany, for your continued support and diligence for the folks on Volta and the rest of the town. Of course, the wheels of government move slow, but yet hopefully some of the updates you seek will happen tonight.
Sounds good, as long as they keep churning. But thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Okay, very good. All right. Any other public comments?
Nothing as of yet via email.
All right, very good. Then let's move on to our legislative discussions for tonight. And first up will be the proclamation. And Ms. Dorsey Washington, would you be willing to take the lead on that?
My computer. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can now, yes.
Okay. So this is proclamation November 2025. The occasion of Municipal Government Works Month. Whereas the town of Brentwood was incorporated in 1922, and whereas Maryland is home to 157 other municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsive level of government, allowing citizens to have direct access to elected officials, and whereas to educate citizens about municipal government and the importance of their participation, the town of Brentwood is proud to promote municipal government awareness, and whereas municipalities have enhanced the quality of life for their respective residents by maintaining natural and historic sites and structures and helping to make Maryland a great place to live, work, play, and explore. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and town council hereby join the Maryland Municipal League in declaring November 2025 to be Municipal Government Works Month in the town of Brentwood.
Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Excellent. And I am
You're
sure the
welcome.
mayor will be happy to sign that. Any comments by the council on the proclamation? Ms. Elrod, Mr. Harris, Councilmember Mion? Very good. Okay. Then we'll move on to the second piece under our legislation, which will be solicitation within the town limits. This is an ordinance 25-16 that we've discussed a couple of different times, and it's being presented for final review. Ms. Dorsey Washington, would you be willing to let us know the changes from last discussion?
So yes, so the only changes was in the last meeting, the wrong version, the incorrect version was presented. So this is actually the correct version, which includes the chapter where it will be inserted within the code. And you will also notice, I think there were some questions under enforcement because we were looking, and under C, solicitation prohibited. You'll see that's before 9 a.m. and 1 hour after sunset. Again, the previous version, the last meeting was the wrong version. So I'm just basically, this is the ordinance that we're looking to hold a hearing on and to pass.
Thank you so very much. That means we need to schedule a hearing.
Yes, I'd like to propose perhaps before the next meeting on the 18th at 6 or 6:30. We'll have two ordinances, hopefully, this one and also the one on the seal, which we'll be doing shortly.
I'll just double check with each of the council members before we move forward. Councilmember Elrod, does 6:30 before the next regular session work for you? Councilmember Arango Mion
That works for me.
and Councilmember Harris?
Works for me.
All right, then we've got that one taken care of.
Okay. And so ordinance 2025-17, again, the section of the charter where this was supposed to be inserted was not on the last version of the ordinance. So that has been updated. And you can see that it will be new chapter 4, town seal and logo, is where this will be inserted in the code.
I see that it's actually listed for a second reading. Do we want to do that now, or would we rather do that at the public hearing?
I'd like to do it in the public hearing if that's okay.
Council? Okay, I'll see.
I like that. I think that's fine.
Great. So let it be done. All right, that brings us to legislation D, which is the resolution 25-16, the Resident Relief Fund. And that might take a few extra minutes there.
So we've passed this resolution. However, I put it back on the agenda because it was passed with the caveat that the application be attached. And so you'll see at the bottom of the resolution, it does say attachment, and here is the application. And if you review the application, the second to the last paragraph on the page that's in front of you, it reads, all applications will be reviewed within 7 days of receipt. Completed applications will be submitted for approval by the Resident Relief Fund Committee designated by the mayor. Approved applications will be funded within 5 days. We wanted to, I believe Councilmember Elrod wanted to see the language in regards to the committee that would be approving applications. And so that information is here on the application.
Councilmember Orog, question, comment, concern?
I think this is great. Thank you for providing this. Do we want to maybe be just a little bit more specific for folks that 7 days, are we talking calendar days or are we talking business days? And then the same with the funded. I think that could be a question that people might have, is if it's calendar days or business days.
So, well, I can go back and adjust it to specify. Generally, it's 7
Yeah.
days from when we received it.
Okay.
Just 7 calendar days.
Okay.
But so we usually try to turn them over pretty quickly.
Okay.
Usually residents that are submitting these applications, you
They
know,
need immediate help.
they need immediate assistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to clarify then, are we going to add a modifier to the 5 days to say calendar days?
I can add that
Okay, just to, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that,
just for clarification.
okay, very good.
Mhm.
Councilmember Arango Millon, do you have a question, comment, or?
Yeah, I also made a comment last time about expanding and not just saying, loss to employment, right? And I think that's the first thing it says there, right? Loss to employment. I think I said something about, suffering financial hardship, something more broad, that I guess that would allow people to not just feel like you just, that includes the folks that are impacted by ICE and all of that as well, right? I just think that if you just say employment, it might just be people
So
that,
let me, if you don't mind, I will read the opening paragraph that outlines the application process and instructions of the Resident Relief Fund. The Town of Brentwood Resident Relief Fund is to assist individuals living in Brentwood, Maryland with emergency financial assistance. Residents must demonstrate hardship due to loss of employment in calendar year 2025. The intent of the program is to assist households in the town of Brentwood who are presumed to be suffering financial hardship due to job loss. So I think that would encompass your request. Are you okay with that language, Councilmember Arango Millon?
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe the employment part, it could just make people feel like it just refers to people losing their job. But I'm thinking that folks that might have somebody else that has been the breadwinner or something like that and not be the person working or losing their job might feel excluded by just seeing that. I don't know. It might just be me overthinking it, but
No, I think you're bringing up a good point there, but my key read on it is the last sentence that Miss Dorsey Washington just read, and it talks about households suffering hardship due to job loss. It doesn't say what the job was, whose it was, which member of the household. So I think that is a little broader than it might seem at first glance. Actually, before I move forward, let me see if Councilmember Harris has a comment. Councilmember Harris?
Yeah, I'm wrestling with the language too, because I understand Councilmember Zwine's concern about how we got to make it inclusive and open enough for folks that have been impacted by the family members being taken away, and how they need to be covered for possible food insecurities as well. So I'm a little conflicted.
I can tell you, like my mom, for example, I know for a fact if she reads this, even though it does have the language that sounds inclusive, but like she's gonna automatically be like, oh, like if she was impacted, she would be like, oh, I didn't lose my job. So I guess it doesn't count for me, but whole time it could have been my father or my stepdad that's been like that's been impacted. And I could see like the cultural uh, uh understanding of this just but
If I might add to that, because it is something that's sort of landing with me in a slightly different way. We also have people who are furloughed. That's not technically a job loss, but is the absence of income related to a job, at least for the foreseeable future. Um, so just another aspect of maybe what they're talking about.
All right, then how about we add something about just an extra word or two that discusses change in employment status, hardship due to change in employment status.
So Vice Mayor,
Yep.
I think if we make this change, then we're going to have to go back and revisit the resolution. Because the application is based off of the resolution.
Right.
And so I think we're looking to change it now. So we may have to, I mean, you can make the recommendation so I can update the application, but we're going to probably have to go back and revisit the resolution as well.
Is it? And and for that reason, I would almost say that maybe we should go ahead and move forward and to get the money out to people.
can we move forward and then add in a resolution?
Yes, we can move forward with this and we can revise it to include, whatever updates you want. So I can bring that back to the next meeting.
Yeah, because I understand. I mean, I do understand the urgency, right? And I don't want to be the one holding it back. I thought that was changed um last session. So I mean, I think if we move forward and just add a resolution, or I don't know, if we could change it right now,
No,
we can't, right? So
I think the council member, the town administrator's right. I mean, we are bound by what we passed last time. And I do think it probably requires some serious thinking about the changing of the words, because there's I think the intent of this relief program is not just to access, is not to help anyone who is suffering an economic hardship, but specific individuals due to specific reasons. Because there are other safety nets around, not just the town of Brentwood, right? So we're just trying to address not a more nuanced shortage that our federal workers and folks who've had a breadwinner perhaps taken from them due to Homeland Security or an ICE raid. I think those are the two folks that we're trying to target there. So yeah, I think I think we passed the resolution last time, so we have to stick with that. If there's going to be a modification of it, then I guess that could happen at the next meeting. But in the meantime, this should probably move forward as is.
yeah, okay.
Vice Mayor, if I may.
Oh yes.
Thanks. So just to point out that the resolution says loss of employment, and I don't know if that is a framing that is slightly different than job loss. So just to point that out, the other question that I had, well, I guess I'm seeing it here now as well, is due to loss of employment in calendar year 2025, that is quickly coming to an end. And I mean, we don't know when the, shutdown issue is going to be resolved, but, that obviously happened this year, but I can imagine the immigration issue continuing into 2026. And if we want to, be considerate of the distinction between 25 and 26 and when those things are happening. So that's the only other piece that sort of popped off for me of a question.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good point. Let's mark that, either clerk or town administrator. Could we mark that to revisit the continuation of this past 2025? 2025 is actually going to end fairly soon.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can repass that resolution with those subtle changes if the council deems that next meeting. Can't hear you.
We're muted.
I'm on mute. I'll make revisions to the resolution as well as the application, and I will submit those in the next meeting.
All right, but but since we have a passed resolution, though, we can go forward now.
Yes.
So that means a committee needs to be established, and we skirted around that last time. We talked about some possibilities, but that committee needs to be established like ASAP, really?
Yes.
Um,
So I will say in the past, that committee consisted of a council person, the treasurer, and the police clerk. And we invited another person in, and I believe it was someone from code. I think it was Martha.
well, let's just take care of this right now. So, council.
You're muted or froze? Or is it me?
No, he froze for me, and now we can't hear you.
Yeah, so I'll try again. Are there any volunteers for this committee amongst the council?
I would be willing to join this.
Very
Definitely.
good. All right. Remember it all. Police chief, do you have any concerns with the police clerk being on this committee?
No, sir.
All right, then, well, of course, we need to ask her, but then we'll assume that that's going to go forward. Ms. Dorsey Washington, as temporary treasurer, I assume you're good to go?
Yes, sir.
And we need one more. Probably not
Uh,
council.
No, the clerk, maybe?
Town clerk, are you up for it?
Up for anything, sir.
All right, I mean, you are in many ways the face of the town, one of the first people that folks interact with, so I think that'd be great.
All right.
Committee done. Let's get the word out to the community then. Oh, Ms. Dorsey Washington, the applications, where will they be available?
So we'll post it online. So
Okay.
we'll have hard copies in the office, and then we'll also post it online. Make it
Outstanding.
available.
Do we also make sure to have it in Spanish?
Yes. I'll have it translated.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you both.
Mhm.
All right. Moving to the new agenda items then. Request to purchase a light emitting diode message board. I believe that will be our police chief.
So that's actually me.
Very good. Sorry.
Because I realized that Volta Avenue, converting that to a one-way that's a major traffic pattern change for the town. And it's important for us to advertise and make it very visible to drivers that that's a one-way street. And we have not been able to borrow a message board from one of our neighboring municipalities. And quite honestly, I feel like we actually have a need to have our own. And so I went out, or I had the clerk just do some research and come back with some information on some used. There was some used ones that we came up with, and I loved the pricing, but then I realized the signs were actually too big for our town because they were like 9 feet, 11 feet wide. And so, yeah, it just takes up too much space. And so we went and we found some smaller signs. However, I was not able to find small signs, use small signs. So this is where we are with LED signs, traffic message boards. These are like 3x6s. They're a little smaller than what we looked at initially. We saw one from Voltex for $8,999. And it does signs and it does images. And I'm not quite sure why they have such a great price compared to the others, but it is what it is. And so you can see the pricing for the other ones. But these would, work better for the town. I would love to have 2 of these. However, I will take just one. Like I said, we do have a need for it outside of, Volta Avenue. I think we can use it, when we have other issues that come up where we have to direct traffic, or Brentwood Day when we have the parade, or just anything that we just, we want to type our message in and advertise. We would have the capability of being able to do so. But they're not cheap.
Clearly.
They are solar panel. They're all solar.
All right.
I did have a conversation with the mayor, so she's in support of us purchasing one. In fact, she thought we should shoot for 2. When we rent these, which is what we did for Brentwood Day, they rent for like $420 a day. They're very expensive. And because I feel like we'll get use out of it, it's worth it for us to make a small investment to have our own.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Dorsey Washington. I will now move on to the question and query session, starting as usual with Ms. Elrod. Any questions or concerns?
No, I think I think that this is good. And given that, there aren't any used ones, maybe this is something that we can even look to rent ours out once we've sort of gotten past the Volta traffic shifts. So, becomes an opportunity for us to recoup some of the cost. I was trying to understand a little bit about, to your point, about why that Voltex one is significantly less in price. And the thing that popped off the page is like, it says traffic control trailer. And so I was like looking at the website, like, oh, wait a second, is it just the trailer portion that you would then have to get the sign separately? But it doesn't appear that that's the case.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
excuse me, but I think that this is a good direction. I'm going to ask the budget question of, where in the budget we would pull these resources from. So
So I would be looking to purchase this with the public safety or the stop sign camera revenue.
Very good. Councilmember Mion?
Yeah, I did some research on this, and I honestly was not able to find any for this price. They've been like $16,000 average.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think this is a good price, but I do think due to all these changes that are happening and during events, I think it's really necessary to have one at least. And if we, if you think it makes sense for with the budget, um, I do think it's going to be necessary. It's now that we're going to have all these changes. Um, I don't know about two though, but yeah, that's what I have to say. I do think it's a good price. I really wasn't able to find any. I just want to make sure, you know, it's yeah. I think it makes sense due to all these new changes that we're going to be having with the roads and stuff. And I do and that is something I have been thinking about, like how are we going to get this word across from people that don't know, right, about certain changes that we do with this street signs and all that stuff that's going on. That's what I have to say about that.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Harris, anything to add?
No, nothing to add. I think it's worthy to go ahead and get, and I like that as priced reasonably.
All right, great. And then I'll just make my actually, I'm going to ask this chief if he has anything to comment. And Chief, I hate to put you on the spot there that way, but since it is something that I could see your department also getting some use out of, if you had any questions or concerns to add.
Yes, well, I'm very familiar with all traffic. When I was over Cottage City, I'm the one that purchased the all traffic trailer we have over there. A lot of municipalities in the area has all traffic because it's very easy to use and it's very versatile. My suggestion is go with the $19,000 one. The reason why is because that one has the capability to gauge traffic data, as well as we use a speed camera where it tells you the speed and pops up the speed, tell you slow down, tells you a lot of information. Also used as a message board, so it's very versatile, and that's the one we had at Cottage City. And most of the towns in the area has that one right there because you can use it for traffic controlling as well as a message board. That's my suggestion. But the 1550, the 15500 can be used as well. But a couple $1,000 more and using the money coming from the stop sign camera, that's what it's supposed to be used for. I want to have something more public safety where we can actually have that capability of doing the speed enforcement with it as well. That one has a radar system inside the board that actually can actually clock people's speed and also collects the data. So if you want to go ahead and know how many cars has sped down this road, it can actually retrieve all that information for you or collect all that information for you. So it's a versatile unit. Cottage City, we keep it out there a lot. Also, I can use it for when we have break-ins in a certain area of the community. We can actually put this out there immediately, letting people know how important it is to call the police for any suspicious activities. I used it last year when we had a couple break-in vehicles. Just reminding people to actually lock their cars and move items of value out the car. So it's a very versatile tool. It's something you definitely need at least one in the town. But my suggestion, if we do something, do it where we have a versatile trailer that we can do multiple things. And that's why my suggestion is go with the 19500 one.
Well, thank you so much. Ms. Dorsey Washington, were you had you been aware of some of those extra amenities of the high-end one?
Yes, I was aware. And I was actually trying to keep the cost down, in addition to knowing that we have some other, I guess, technological things going on in the police department that would actually increase safety in terms of what things that the chief spoke about. And so I didn't think it was necessary to actually spend the additional money to have that feature on the message board.
Okay.
However, I can certainly see the benefits of it.
Then I guess my question comment then. Having once before purchased a lower cost LED sign for the town that was propped up out on 38th Street for a while. One of the shortcomings of it was, well, you could only put very small words. The words we got bisected. It was not very flexible on the type of message that you could put. And so I kind of want to make sure that whatever we do get, that if that it will be a good sign for announcing Election Day here in Brentwood, a good sign for announcing International Day, for Brentwood Day, not just these more, dare I say it, mundane street activity type of things. Something that we could use to really enhance getting information out to the public.
So Vice Mayor, that's why I said go with that one, the all traffic solution. The reason why our Chiefs Association, we did a lot of studies on these things a few years back. I purchased mine back in 2020, and it's still running. We have no problems with it. Anytime we need something serviced, the all traffic solution came out and serviced it. So you want something durable and that can last. That one has 6 frames. That means we can put 3 lines of 6 frames on there. So it will get your message out there and very clear. I could actually set the how long each page will stay up before it flips to the next one. I could do like 1 second up to 5 seconds to each one. So it's very versatile. And like I said, I know how to work the system. So it won't be a learning curve for me at all.
All right, that Miss Dorsey Washington, I'm going to jump back to you for a second. Where'd she go? There she is. And I see your hand, Councilmember Engel, just one moment. Do you have the time and is it convenient for you to go visit the one that's over at Cottage City? Is that something that we can do just so we can get like a hands-on, take a look at the daggone thing?
Yes, that's actually a great idea because one of the things I was going to say is that I don't have firsthand knowledge, but obviously the chief does. But yeah, I can definitely reach out to Cottage City and see if I can go over there and just, get a little demo.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe some training.
I'm all for
And
going
also-
high dollar, just as long as we're getting something
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Hyattsville has 3. Prince George County has something like 40 of them. So there's a lot of municipalities. Landover Hills has one. New Carrollton has one. So a lot of the municipalities have that setup, that same unit. So it's a point where it has been vetted. It has been seen that it's been very versatile. It's very durable. So you have a product that not just one town or one agency has it. Several people in this Prince George County has it.
All right. All right, we've got a plan of action, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just don't want to get something that's going to break or we can't get the parts for it.
Excellent discussion. Oh, I didn't go back to Councilmember Engel. You had your hand up for a moment. My apologies.
Yeah, I just wanted to no, I agree with this plan of action. Let's see what the one from the other municipality and see. But I do think also I'm gonna do more research on what this brand, the $6,000 brand, can do. Because I do think it would be nice to have the one with that we can get data from and all of that. But I think that a lot of the things that we have in place can do a lot of that. I'm sure that the stop sign cameras, if I'm not mistaken, can they or the organization gives us data already and stuff like that, right? I don't know. I just I just think there's better use of $20,000. And if I'm more about getting the message across. If we are able to do that, with the $6,000 one, with there's not a lot of limitations. I want to move forward with that. Personally, I just think it's the best financial decision right now. I do think that there's a lot of unprecedented situations going on right now, and we just want to be a little bit more conservative with the money. Even though this is coming from the camera funds. I just want us to, just be more careful with that. But I like the action plan that we have right now in place.
We absolutely want to be good stewards of the tax dollars. That's for sure. All right. So Ms. Dorsey Washington will investigate.
Yes.
And she has any number of people willing to help her do that, including the chief, as well as Reginald Bagley would surely get you a Hyattsville look as well. All right.
I'm sure he would.
All
My
right.
buddy.
All right, I'm going to move forward then to the Public Works roundhouse lighting. Very excited to see these quotes.
So, well, the quotes aren't in here, but the good news is I went back, had some more discussions with Public Works, and what I actually found is that there was actually lighting in the roundhouse. All the bulbs were dead. So, long story short, we changed the bulbs. We actually do have lighting inside now. But there are a couple of light fixtures that aren't working. So we will have to bring in an electrician to fix those, but I don't think I need to come to the council for approval to get that work done. But I did want you guys to, I thought I may have, but I don't. It's probably going to cost us less than $1,500 to get it fixed. But it's an option now if we want to consider using that space for storage, as opposed to the container or in conjunction with the storage container. I just wanted to make sure you were aware that it's an option.
Excellent. I'm sure you put nice LED lights in those sockets when they
Yes. Yes. So there's 3. Some of them we can just change out the bulbs with LED lighting. And then there's 3 fixtures that's the fluorescent lighting. And so I want to change those fixtures completely, which is what the electrician is needed for, also to fix the wiring. But to change that out, to get rid of the fluorescent lighting.
All right, let me see if anybody else has a comment. Councilmember Arango Millon.
I was just, if this is going to work, then I think we shouldn't get the shipping container if we don't need it, right? Matter of fact, we could reallocate that money for something else. I think that, but also I wanted to see if you were able to look into, because I believe that could qualify as a historical.
Yes.
Right. So there's tons of grants. I mean, I know there's the state of Maryland will give us money for renovations and all that stuff. I don't know. I just wanted to see if you looked into that as well.
I haven't, but it's next on my list. Vice Mayor and I had that same conversation. So great minds think alike, I guess. That's what they say. So we'll be looking into that to see if we can get that designation as well.
All right, very good. Councilmember Elrod.
I think that sounds great. I guess my question from here is what is the square footage comparison between what is in what's available in that space versus a storage container, to understand, is it truly comparable, or would the roundhouse be, like a 30% or a 50% or a 70% match of what the storage container would offer us?
Yeah, so I've been in that roundhouse a bunch of times, 5 or 6, which and the storage in the roundhouse is different than it would be in any kind of container. I mean, the geometry is different. It's actually round in there. There's a big hole in the center of the floor. So it does have storage capabilities if we're careful about it, but it's certainly not a one-to-one swap out for a big rectangular storage container.
That was my suspicion, but I didn't want to assume. So
yeah. So yeah, we still may need a storage container. I don't know if we need it now.
Okay. Councilmember Harris. he's been having sign-on, sign-off issues, so I'll give him a pass this time. Anyone else want to make a
But,
comment on
yeah,
this? Oh,
no,
Ben.
yeah, thanks. But no, I agree. Like if that comparison to be done, whether it's the same or similar storage capacity as that unit, then that would be a great swap off and a chance for us to save dollars, especially as we just talked about those signs.
Yeah. I'll get the dimensions and bring that back to the next meeting.
All right. And would you be so kind as to, I don't know if the chief's actually seen that building, but he requested the storage. Could you two kind of visit that together and put your heads together on that one?
Yes.
Yep, that'd be fine.
Okay. All right. Make sure everybody's needs get met. All right.
And Shelly, if you need help with that grant, let me know. I know there's another grant also that's from the Prince George's County it's called the Prince George's County Historic Property Grant. It's $50,000. So we have like at the state level and also locally that Prince George's County also provides.
Okay. So yeah, we can definitely talk more online. I'm thinking we have to get the designation first.
Right. That was a real problem for the firehouse.
Yeah.
It did not make the designation.
Right.
And we may run into the same problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Moving forward with, and Mr. Scretany, I hope you're still online. It's street paving and speed hump installation quotes presentation time.
So yeah, so I want to apologize in advance because I feel like this is probably going to be a little disappointing to you. So so Pronto, they submitted their quote, but they left off the speed humps and they're only showing repairs that are needed on Utah. So I'm probably going to hold off on that for now. But the one vendor, and we did reach out to 5 different vendors, but the one quote that I do have is from Choice Concrete. And they're proposing it's $1,800 for each speed hump. Don't let the price of their quote scare you because again, that includes repaving in front of the post office as well as a section of Utah to fix the potholes. But just focus on the speed hump portion. It's about $1,850 for each speed hump. There is a design or picture in there of the speed hump. It would be 4 feet wide. I think, Vice Mayor, you asked me about dimensions previously. Keep going. That's it right there. So those are the dimensions of the speed hump that would be installed. Also found that we can only, if we have a very small window, if we want to install speed humps or any other kind of paving, because they generally stop doing it after November. So we have like through the end of the month. Unfortunately, I can't make the contractors present me with a quote, even though we've asked. And Pronto was supposed to send a revision, but we never received it. We were supposed to get it last Thursday. So I really thought I was going to have everything tonight. But I still wanted to move forward because again, if we want to do if we want to install the speed bumps, we have to get it done this month.
All right. Okay. Did I interrupt you?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So I remember a similar problem in the past when we want what are thought to be relatively small jobs, getting these quotes out of folks. They're just a real pain. So we have one. Do you anticipate getting another one by the end of the week?
I'm pushing for it. I hope so. I would. Well, I'm going to just tell you my ask.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know we're not approving anything tonight, but my ask would be if I don't get it, that I would ask to get approval for the installation of speed bumps not to exceed $1,900 each, or we could round it to $2,000 each for installation on Volta.
Yeah, no, am all in favor of some kind of special meeting to come up right pretty soon to go ahead and just grant the approval of this thing.
Okay.
Which is why I was wondering by the end of the week. So maybe we can set something for Friday, if we're in agreement for some special meeting,
Mhm.
to officially allocate the funds.
Okay. And it would, yeah, just a quick meeting on Friday around
I-
6:30.
I need to hear from the rest of the council, though. I mean, I need to make sure that we're all on board with this. Councilmember Elrod?
Yes. I think my only concern is that 4 feet seems kind of not like a lot. I asked for a tape measure because I just needed to like see it.
4
Like,
feet
yeah.
for a
Maybe
speed
it's
hump?
like yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe the spatial dynamic for me in the car is different than like me as a
Mm,
person. So that's all.
yeah.
That
It
was the
will
only
be
thing that popped off for me.
Okay. Councilmember Harris?
No, I'm for.
Okay. Councilmember Mion?
So I'm all for it, but I really just don't like the fact that we don't have another something else to look. I just want to make sure we're not like overpaying it, like want to make sure we have a
Right.
fair price.
I get
But
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna push really hard to get that second one from Pronto. They've already been out. They don't need to come back. And they don't need to come back to provide it. They provided the quote for Utah, but they did not include the speed humps, and I'm not sure why.
All right.
So I think we can get it.
It's just Tuesday. All right, then let's settle for
Yes.
the 6:30 p.m. via Zoom 15-minute meeting. Sound good?
All for it.
Clerk, can you get that posted for us?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then we'll just make the hard decision at that point. All right. I don't know who's got the lead on the next item, mass notification and call systems.
It can be me.
It is you.
Okay, all right, very good.
All right. So during the last meeting, I presented 2 quotes. I was waiting on one last vendor to sit down with me and have a demo. I have since gone through them. That company was Everbridge. So as of right now, we have Civic Plus, TextMeGov, and Everbridge. All 3 quotes I have are about similar to each other. The only difference for Everbridge is they don't give us a number to text per se. So if let's say text 4,300 to Brentwood, they'll automatically sign up. Everbridge charges an extra 2,000 for that. And then give me 1 sec. I'm gonna pull up exactly how it looks for a resident to sign up for these notifications. Sorry. I'm working on a different computer today.
All good.
All right, here we are. So this is going from China Chevrolet. This is Civic Plus per se. I can go ahead and sign up. If it loads. All right, so basically our resident can put in their name. They can decide what they want. They can go with an email address, a mobile or voice alert. Mobile just being a text message and voice alerts being a resident getting a phone call. It will kind of say it's from the town of Brentwood, not necessarily the company, just so it doesn't confuse residents. And then down here, residents are able to put their address. That way we can have geolocation. Let's say 37th Street has a flood or Volta has a 3-car crash per se. That's something we can just tag over there. And then these are the languages that people can get via text. There's 50 different languages via text, and there's 25 different languages that folks can get as a phone call. Per se, for the most part, I did like Civic Plus a little bit more, just because it's all inclusive with iPause, which we can get someone certified here at the town to work with all of that. And Text My Go was a little bit more pricier. Sorry about this. Text My Go was kind of a little different than everyone else. It's not really a multi-language type of software. It only really incorporates English. It does incorporate Google Translate, but Google Translate always isn't the formal way to really translate things. I think the mayor said this previously during the budget. We may speak or type certain things a different way than other folks, so it's kind of hard to really say that what Google Translate will say will be the right thing for a resident to understand. And then this is Everbridge. Now we'll say with Everbridge, Prince George's County Emergency Services use this Everbridge, as well as the District of Columbia Emergency Services uses Everbridge. But the only thing is that if we want to have a specific number of folks to text to sign up for these notifications, it is an extra $2,000. And that's all I have.
Ms. Dorothy Washington, thoughts on this?
Well, I do. Obviously, I think it's a need. We currently have the mobile text alert, which is pretty limited in its capabilities. I think this is a great program to communicate not just, our everyday messages or to send out notifications about an event or what have you. I think it's also a good tool to have as an emergency notification system. And, every day that passes, it becomes more and more urgent and important that we actually have something like this in place.
Chief, over at Cottage City, did they use any of these three to your knowledge? For texting, getting communications out?
They were looking into it before I left, but they didn't get one as of yet.
All right, very good. Then I'll do my usual round. Councilmember Rango-Millón, any questions for the clerk?
I have you tried using a demo for them?
So they all did demos with me. The only demos I do have on file, though, unfortunately, is Civic Plus. Everbridge did not send me a demo from what we sat down and went through. Neither TextMyGov, but I do have the Civic Plus one. I sat through it, and then our community coordinator specialist also sat in that one as well.
Shelly, have you also seen it, or
I have not demoed it.
is it something that maybe you can also do? Just to see
Yes.
them? Oh, I would love to.
Yes, I can go through the demo.
All right.
Yeah, I think.
Rod?
Yeah.
Oh, did I interrupt you?
No, I was just gonna say I've heard really good things of Civic Plus. I know
Mhm.
that a lot of people use it for like website building and other communication forms as well. So I've personally heard really good things about it. But I also want to make sure that we're able to just make sure this is what works for us, right? And I think that I trust all of you, but I just want to make sure it works for everybody, right? Because
Right.
you guys are the ones using it most of the time. So
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Councilmember Elrod, comment?
No, I think that this is the right move forward. Something that I think I've heard from people is that, they want more communications from the town. And I think this is a great way to do that. And it sort of has the opportunity for us to reach beyond the limitations of social media. One question that I have about the Civic Plus, I'll just sort of show my cards here that, I think extra money for a number to text to is kind of like a cash grab. And I don't like that the other one doesn't have the the sort of multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-language sort of integration, instinctual to the system itself. So I'm leaning towards the Civic Plus, but I'm looking at the proposal or the quote that they gave us, and it does say annual uplift 5% to be applied in year 2. I'm not sure, Larry, if you have any understanding of what that means. To me, that, like, I would take that to be that they could increase the actual annual recurring services by 5%, beyond what is listed here, or if that sort of annual recurring service is locked in, and then we sort of at a later date they're subject to an increase.
Yeah, so it's something that we can kind of take per se if we wanted to kind of update the software as we move forward. It's not necessarily something that will be built right away. It's just an option. I
Got
really
it. So it's
tried to
like an
get all the
upgrade.
yeah. So I really tried
Okay.
to get everyone's little pieces to get combined to make sure that all the quotes kind of had the same dynamic.
Got it. So it's just an optional upgrade cost. That's helpful. Thank you.
Great. Councilmember Harris.
No, no comment from me.
All right, very good. Then clerk, I've just got one, and when we come back to this during the regular session, I would like you to have a little, it can be a table, it can be bullets, it can be whatever, but your kind of recommendation and why.
Okay, will do.
Okay? All right.
All right.
We've seen the quotes, we've talked about it. Rubber hits the road time. Okay. All right, very good. Mayor, I see that you're on board. Would you like to take over now?
Good evening. I'm driving back, so if you don't mind, continue on. I'm just gonna be listening, and if that's okay.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor.
Right.
All right, moving on to the next agenda item, which is the Public Art Celebration date proposal.
Yes, so their artists are working very hard getting all of our public art installed on Rhode Island Avenue. And it should all be complete before Thanksgiving. And so we're looking to do, I guess, kind of our unveiling celebration on either the 24th or the 25th. And so that's a Monday or a Tuesday. And so I'm just checking to see if you have a preference.
I will defer to all of the rest of the council. Ms. Elrod?
What time of day?
So it'll start around 6. We'll do it in the evening.
Will there be sufficient lighting? Because it'll be dark by that point.
And you know what? You're right. We didn't even think about that. The time change.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll be
wow.
dark.
It's going to be hard I don't know if we can make it a weekend event. It's hard to do it during the day because we can't necessarily, grab everyone.
Right.
Because we invite the county exec, we invite our legislators. Mayor, you can chime in here if you have a recommendation. Because I don't think the lighting is sufficient enough to really appreciate the artwork in the dark. Oh, maybe she doesn't hear.
Driving, yeah.
Yeah, we might have to consider try to do something on a weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
Or maybe if we can push it to a Friday, we might be able to do it earlier in the day. People get off earlier.
I'm sorry, I was driving and just trying to get my unmute button was a challenge. But I understand that not late night, but if we all put a date, I don't know the schedules, because sometimes I know we work on the schedules, but I will prefer weekday than a weekend because the weekends are getting shorter, and then we have Thanksgiving coming up. So I'm not sure, but maybe 4 o'clock still looks okay.
Okay. You,
So it's not gonna be a long program. I think it should be a short program, but
yes, it is. It is a short program. I'm fine with 4 o'clock if you think 4 o'clock works in terms of, our special guests that we invite to these events, being able to participate.
Yeah, I can make that time work as long as I have advance notice. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do we want to shoot for 4? Okay.
I would
Or-
say it depends.
Was there a preference on the day?
Monday would be my
Monday.
preference.
Yeah, Monday works.
I think we should still consider a Saturday, but it depends. I mean, it's up to you guys. But
Would that be this Monday?
Yeah, this would be November 24th. November 24th.
All right, so let it be written, so let it be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving to the next agenda item. Request for town community center use. I'm not sure who actually has the lead on that.
I asked Shelley if I didn't make it on time. I will let her do that. So this is a request from what's the name? I forgot the name. Shelley, you have it in front of I can see it now, but it's the Guatemalan group that is providing classes for to do marimba training, musical. It's about music, it's about culture. And one of the proposal, they trying to work with Thomas Stone Elementary after school program. So they are asking to, first they asked for Saturdays, which I say no, maybe because they wanted to do every Saturday from 10 to 12. And that was like, no, because we have different programs, we have different events. So then they were willing to do after school during the weekdays. So, and they want, I just bring this to your attention for your review, but they will be coming to talk about it on the next meeting. But I would like so you get some sort of like, get familiar with this project, and that way we can vote on it. So if we can allow them, they are a nonprofit organization, and they were basically what they're trying to do is work with our kids from Thomas Stone.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'll hold my question to see if anybody else has one. Councilmember Milne, any questions about this? Comment?
I know Mr. Lam. He's an amazing person. He really I do think this will be a great program. But I fully support. I've worked with him in the past, and I think he's just I think this would be a great initiative if we're able to do it.
Very good. Councilmember Harris.
I'm 100% for the youth. So as long as it's not a conflict inside of the uses of that space, and go forward and do good things.
Very good, sir. Like the positive attitude. Councilmember Elrod.
Also in support. And the only thing that maybe I would add is if we can arrange to have like a dedicated number of slots available to youth in Brentwood as a possible like perk.
Yes. And by the way, this program is aiming to start in January. So that's why we are talking about it now. So that way we can work on schedule and see what other events we have that don't conflict with their timing. Because we have different events and organizations already booking their time to use the facility.
Very good. I guess I'm last, and I'll echo everyone else, full support. But my question is, do we need vote or approval? Why isn't this just a normal sign up for the community center event?
Thank you, Vice Mayor, for that question. The only reason I brought this to the attention and the table, because I just want, this should be the process. We cannot just, promising or saying that we're gonna allow any organization to just come and use the facility. This is something that, is going to support the students in our neighborhood. So, and I think it will be a good practice to at least know who are they, why they coming, and what is their purpose.
All right, very
All right,
good.
can I say something real quick? I believe that, sorry, am I allowed to?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that, I'm understanding this right, because I also understood from our, the recent sessions that we had, that we were allowed to use the town facilities without having to go through this process every single time, as long as, it's beneficial for the community, and that, if it's for a good cause. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it right, because I have held like some events for the community, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing things properly. So that was just my understanding from what we recently passed.
It's more like about scheduling, because we don't want to have a conflict of scheduling. So that's why it is good to bring it to the table and also discuss in public settings. So that way, also our town administrator know that she's not double booking for one day. Like I think that happened a few weekends back, that we have to move an organization over because it was already booked. So we don't want to get into that, because it doesn't reflect good on us either, that we are double booking the space.
Vice Mayor, may I speak? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to yak for a second. You want to go first?
Well, I was just going to make one comment, because I think what may need to come before council, not necessarily the use or the rental of the space. However, I think if we have council people that are maybe forming partnerships, that the town is co-signing, or then the other council probably want to be made aware, especially when you're out and one of your constituents approaches you and asks you a question, and about a partnership or some organization we're working with, and you have no idea. I'm not sure if they're necessarily asking for approval, or if they're just bringing it to council for support or to make them aware. But I do think if we're forging a partnership, there probably should be some type of communication.
My take on that's not too dissimilar. I think any group can put in the application to sign up for the community center. Any group, we've all got the regulations down, so any group can do that. I think the distinction that I see is if a group is going to be council or mayor or town sponsored in some way, though, because there's a financial release when that's the case as well. So those are the ones that I think are really important, that they do come forward to council, right? Because it's that making a commitment to a group rather than just somebody off the street deciding to go ahead and rent out the community center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Councilmember Mion, are you fairly clear now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Then we're down to our last one. The Town of Brentwood Charter Review. I seem to remember us having just a quick conversation during our last session. Is there a particular person who put this on the agenda or wants to take the lead?
So I was instructed at the last meeting that this should show up on every agenda. And it may be just a marker, just to a gentle reminder to everyone. So it's on the agenda, and I'll continue to put it on the agenda, unless you guys tell me to stop.
No. All right. So I don't think we need it on every agenda, but let's at least address it to begin with now, right? We all know that it's necessary. We know it's overdue. We know that council members don't have the bandwidth to do it. Neither does the town administrator or any other individual in the town. So we've talked about ways to get around this. There have been proposals to work, verbal proposals to work with people like the University of Maryland's policy folks to put something together. We talked about a community task force that would involve some compensation for that. And my last seed of memory on this topic was from Councilmember Elrod, who had a few thoughts about that came from the Summer Maryland Municipal League meeting, I believe. Am I putting you on the spot?
Not terribly.
Okay.
It was actually from the fall conference.
Okay.
Yeah, so I attended the charter amendment session, and it was really insightful just to hear from other municipalities that have gone through this. And there's a ton of them, and some sort of near to us as well. Glenn Arden recently did it. Who else? So I was just thinking, like, who could we sort of maybe have folks. Greenbelt either has gone through it recently or is in the process of doing it. So are there sister municipalities that we could sort of, as council members, maybe set up a meeting with somebody just to kind of talk through and see what their experiences were. There's a bunch of different ways we can go about this, as the Vice Mayor alluded to. I think it's really, really smart. So Brookville, Maryland, they worked with University of Maryland PALS to have them sort of analyze their charter and like make proposals. And that was done as a part of their program. It was like a cornerstone or capstone project for one of the groups. So I think leaning on like free labor, student labor, where they're getting college, they're getting academic credit or academic gains from that. There's plus and minuses to having resident commission or review committee or, a resident task force. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, they're sort of the like, I think we would still need to have a really strong municipal partner within Brentwood, because they're sort of the language piece of it, of like, what do we want to include, what needs to be updated, what is outdated, what are some new options or opportunities. So like one of the things that a few of the folks talked about was adding non-binding ballot questions at elections, which are a great opportunity to do some resident polling on different issues, and can sort of help set agendas. So like there's some ways to sort of leverage this to not just be how are we refreshing it so that it's a 21st century charter, but ways to increase the impact and success of the municipality overall. But the other thing that they really, really drilled in is the sort of the legal process, and the support that's needed to kind of make sure you are hitting every single date and milestone. One of the groups that presented, I think it was Brunswick, they went through their whole charter review process and they missed one date, and they basically had to go back and they didn't have to rework the language, but they had to go back and do all of the legal process with all of the notifications, all over again, because they missed one date by like 3 days or something. So I think that it's really important to have somebody that, is either working very closely with the attorney to kind of help create the, like, here are the critical benchmarks that have to be met, so that we don't find ourselves in that situation where we need to go back and do the work again. So that's kind of like the very high level of the takeaways, from what I heard, and what I think are great opportunities for us to do this work. So.
If I'm thinking about the 2 to 3 options, hired consultant, community task force, or the free labor, as you call it. And the free labor is who did most of the hard work on the tree ordinance that we're working on. So, and I found that to be a pretty engaging process, reaching out with questions, comments, things like that. If we were to go that route, do you or anybody else on this group have a contact to initiate that? Just some general discussions. Lost you, Michelle Rod.
I was trying to unmute and it hovered over the news screen on my computer and I was like, I can't see anymore. I don't have the name of the people who worked with the university, but I do have the name of the municipality that did. So I'd be happy to reach out to them to learn more. I'm trying to think if I got the name of anybody from. I did ask somebody about Glen Arden because I was curious about how they managed their approach with the public. Because I think that that's something that's important, regardless of whether we're having a consultant lead this work or there still has to be ample public opportunity for input, whether that's through an official resident task force or commission, or just the way that the structure is the work is approached, in that there's those forums, referendums, that kind of opportunity. So I mean, I think that there are some folks that we can reach out to learn more of, hey, we're just getting this started, can you take 30 minutes to meet with me to just kind of talk me through what you guys did. And I'm happy to help with that.
All right, then. We're clearly not in warp speed mode at the moment because our charter's been functioning or limping along for a century now. But if you're willing to reach out to a few folks to get a name or a contact, I think starting with the university, the free labor, as we call it, and we've had a good experience with them last year with the ordinance preparation, then that might be just a place to start. Doesn't mean we're committing to them, but let's go for that. Okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll take care of that then.
Okay. Any other comments on that? All right.
I do. Sorry. At one point, I remember doing something for a class that I had. I think it was public safety, and I used Brentwood as in my capstone, right? So maybe that's something that the public, what is that, public?
School of Public Policy.
School of Public Policy to help us, just to guide us and how, and that can serve an exercise not only for for the students, but as council members, we can pitch in, and then we also have the interactions that Councilmember Errol was talking about, that we can have forums and maybe because sometimes they don't know where to start, right? So maybe we need to start putting those questions. What do we need to change? What is that, the sections? Because a lot of the things that we discuss and also previous judges have give recommendations of changing language when it comes to he, she, referring, right, to the things that they've been 100 years old. So maybe starting there, that's just something to look into. And I agree with Councilmember Errol. This is it's not going to be an easy task, but we need to keep bringing it until we get to the point that we either continue on or decide hey, this is too much to do in 2 years term, and who knows if the work that we start now is going to be continued later. I see Councilmember Rango hands up.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, I know that the Do Good Institute, they have a like some sort of scholarship grant that they offer for graduate student. I mean, for like bachelor or graduate, we get to decide. But basically, like we would apply for it, and we give like a student for a whole semester. We can get multiple, and they would like pay most of it, but we do have to put in some money. I think it's very little though. It's and we get the student for like the whole entire semester to work on something like and we get and the good thing is we can make our own like description of what we're trying to do and what type of student we want or we're looking for. And I know the lady that does that is Kathleen Connors or something like that, but I have her email. So if you guys, I can follow up with Councilmember Elrod and see what we can reach out to her and see if that could be a good idea.
Very good. All right. Action plan done. Clerk, do we have any public comments that came in the last 2 hours?
No comment.
Any public comments from folks who are online? I see Mr.
I have an
Scratch.
announcement.
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay, so I just want to announce that, Gateway Aging Together had been having their potlucks and learning series at the community center. And so starting in January, they will be moving to Mount Rainier's Nature Center. So they'll move there. The program is for Brentwood, Mount Rainier, and North Brentwood residents participate. And so they have asked us to provide some shuttle service for, I think it's 5 events. They have one each month and it'll be January through May. So I'll be coordinating that. So they'll no longer be using the community center started in January when they make that transition.
Very good. Thank you. Let us know if you need help with the vehicle.
Will do. Are you want to drive?
Oh, I don't mind driving. Look, I drive a lot of.
I know you do.
All right. Then that's it then. Otherwise, we're going to adjourn. Thank you very much, Brentwood, for listening. This meeting is closed as of 8:32 p.m. November 4th. That's a Tuesday. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Let's be careful out there.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Take care.
Brentwood.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you
Thank you.
all. Have a good week.